afternoon, everyone. We are so excited. We are here together.
First time in 2021.
So, my name is Helena.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors, and coaches to build a business on your terms. And we legitimately are doing some filming which we cannot do in separate houses. And so remote working has taken a seat back and we are actually together here in COVID times. And it is a delight and it's a bit weird, isn't it? So we are going to be talking to you today about earning the right to sell. But before we do that, we of course want to tell you all about the buzz in your business. And we of course want to know the buzz in your business. So please, in the comments, tell us the buzz in your business. Whether you're doing this as a hashtag replay, it still counts, so please play. Or if you're joining us live, which I see people actually are at the moment. So what is exciting, inviting, enticing for you? What's new? What's happening in your world? We want to know. So let's do a little bit of Kelly's doing the little dance that goes with that. So let us tell you the buzz in our business whilst you get busy on the keys and tell us the buzz in yours. So we are 200 people away from 10,000 members inside the Connection Hub. The Connection Hub is the place to hang out. As a speaker, author, or coach, it is the place where you want to actively engage in the conversation, actively kind of have a chat with fellow peers and people who've got answers and opportunities and all sorts of things go on in there. So if you're not yet a member, or if you've got friends who are speakers, authors and coaches who might need to be in there, who you know are not in there, help us out.
Help us meet the member milestone of 10,000.
We are really excited about it. So please do that. Kelly's already put the link in. Now you'll find that both of us, we're not quite as used to being together.
No, I'm on my phone doing comments. She's on her laptop doing comments.
It's all a little bit strange here in this world, but we're going to absolutely manage because we are very excited about that. So hello to whoever you are. I'm about to handle all the comments and everything else.
Do that. So we've got one more bit of buzz in the business, which I know that we've got lots of people that have already signed up for, and I will put the link in the comments to it now.
Yes.
But we get asked the question all the time, how have you grown the Connection Hub with no Facebook advertisement? With 82% engagement is our average engagement ratio in a group size of 10,000, which is quite extraordinary. And for those of you who are in the hub will know how much of a great place it is. So we get asked that question, how do you do it, all the time. So we thought,
here we are.
What we're going to do is we've started this Grow Your Group Challenge that starts on Monday. So that's Monday the 8th for 5 days. Yeah. So please do register. It's completely free. And we will be teaching you how to start a group, how to grow a group, and how to increase the engagement in your group, because they're the most important parts. It's no good just having a massive group when there's tumbleweed when you put comments in, right? It needs to be active. Please do sign up to the Grow Your Group Challenge. You'll instantly get some hacks that you can start on with before we start on Monday. And then we'll be going live every day of the week next week in the Connection Hub, so that you can be part of the challenge, but you only get entered into the prizes if you register via the link. Exactly. And there are some great prizes up for grabs as well.
So Melissa Love hi to Kieran, and Melissa Love is saying she's loving the colour-coded books in the background. That's courtesy of this one.
I do like my colour-coded bookshelves.
And Roberta Weber, really good for you. The buzz in her business is, I'm excited to have been chosen to be a teacher for an incredible mind-body medicine modality. This means I'll reach more people with my work, and I'm humbled as well as thrilled. And Melissa is just, so Roberta, well done, because, that just takes your work to the next level.
Definitely.
And it's a fabulous thing. Arasu, fabulous and fantastic, well said. Nice to see you. And Melissa's obviously kind of like highlighting the designer in her, who is loving the background that we've currently got.
Glad we have approval.
So I every now and then I know it looks like I'm going to be looking down.
We're looking all over the place.
It's because just making sure that you feel the love that we have for you. So yeah, just keep on talking to us and we'll go from there. So keep telling us the buzz in your business as we begin to talk about earning the right. So Kelly and I talk a lot about earning the right with our clients, in our membership, and really part of the mission that we're on to sort of shift and change the speaker, author, coach industry is centered around this concept of earning the right to speak, to sell, to write, to do anything, to be honest.
But to do it authentically and non-sleazy, because we're not going to get on our high horse today about how the personal development industry might be tarnished by some people that have some not that ethical tactics when they come to sell. And I think that's probably why a lot of people are conscious of selling, because they don't want to come across in that way. So we're coming at it from a completely different angle. We won't be on our soapbox. We're going to teach you how to do it properly.
Exactly. And it might sound a tiny bit ranty, but that's simply because we're very, very passionate about the fact that you don't need to actually do those. And so part of this live is about addressing that and ways in which you can actually contextualize how to sell by earning the right, which then doesn't feel like selling, it feels like serving. So everything that you do as a speaker, author, or coach really should, and I don't use that word too often, should be about earning the right to do these things. So we might think of ourselves and our messages as essential, but if you think about it, we're really not to the people who don't know about us yet. So selling too soon is the thing that Kelly's alluding to, and it makes our reputations shoddy. And that really sullies everything that we have, and it doesn't give you the opportunity to have the reach that Roberta was just talking about, for example. And there's definite love for us kind of making genuine connections as the big thing here. So if you think of the law of reciprocity, I give you something, you then give me something. If we are the people that start that process rather than the other way around, that absolutely creates the conditions for us to receive much more widely and deeply. And it makes people who we want to reach more receptive by giving them content, value, and information that we readily have in our heads and hearts, right? So earning the right is definitely something that you need to potentially build in if you haven't actively thought about it. So part of the reason we're doing this live is just to bring it really conscious for you, so that when you do ask, you ask at the right time, so that people are actually willing to say, yes, please, I'll have some of that.
Conscious competence.
That's how it works. So let us go into some of the detail. Melissa's saying helping people in organic conversations on how you can help, and that's exactly what we're talking about.
Because that's all that selling is. It's just problem solving.
And Kieran, I absolutely adore you.
What did
he
say?
Says contrapreneurs. I am absolutely loving this. I feel there's a revolution coming. This is how it goes. That's the new Facebook group.
Oh, right. Okay. So let's address some of the reasons why some people have this fear of selling. And normally because they are not wanted to come across like salesy and that whole spammy salesy side of things. So the reasons why people do come across like that is really what people are saying, like Melissa, they're not building up enough rapport before they start to sell to you, right? So we were doing a training in our membership site last night on email nurture campaigns. And this is one of the things, someone downloads a lead magnet and the first thing you get 2 hours later is
not from
email.
us.
No,
not from us.
It's an email saying buy this, buy this, buy this, and you're like, bloody hell. I'm not going to use the analogy of having sex in the first day, but it's that type of thing, right? It's so like, you don't even know who I am. You don't know what my problem is yet. How can you genuinely sell to me?
Exactly.
So you want to make sure that you're building up enough rapport and a relationship and getting to know, making those genuine connections, as she said. And what that does is that allows the people to trust you. Right? Lots of the stuff now, if you think about your genuine buying habits, whether you see something on TripAdvisor on those days when we were able to leave the house and go on holidays.
What is this thing you speak of?
You wouldn't most people wouldn't actually just buy direct from the hotel website. They'd go and check out the legitimate reviews on TripAdvisor. And then they'd go back to wherever the deal was or on the actual holiday website. Because what they're doing is they're looking for third parties that will endorse that to help build trust. So think about how you're using testimonials, case studies, as Helena was saying earlier.
That social proof element.
That's one element of trust. But another element of trust is just them getting to know you. We don't want you to be anyone but yourself, right? So the uniqueness of you is going to attract and it's going to repel some people, and be okay with that. You don't want to be a people pleaser and try and be vanilla and blend into the background because everyone will forget you, rather than you actually attract valued, like-minded people that want to be on the journey with you because they resonate with you. So be you, okay?
Yes.
But don't be this is the thing, and especially with our people, speakers, authors and coaches, you love to help others, right?
Sure.
You love to share. And because you actually care about your people so much, a lot of the time you're 3 steps ahead of where they are and you want to share too quickly.
Yes.
So what you do is you can see where they need to be, and actually you're so desperate for them to be there that you try and actually tell them what they need rather than what they want, and maybe you sell too early because they haven't caught up to your thinking. They haven't got your years of experience and knowledge and wisdom.
That's right.
They are where they are at, and they don't know what they don't know.
They really don't.
So you've got to think, don't be in too much of a rush to get them to where you're excited to get them to, because that also can feel like you're being sold to.
Yeah.
It's also important for them to understand that the why that you're doing this, you know, the big why, that why you're selling the program that you're selling, doing the coaching, writing the book, whatever it might be, because your bigger purpose and mission actually shows the genuineness of why you're doing this. You're not just doing it to get money.
No.
You're not just doing this to, you know, make a name for yourself. You're doing this because you care about the individual
and or about the thing that you are so passionate about. And Kieran's just actually saying, my problem is that since lockdown there have been many that have flooded the industry claiming expertise and playing on people's emotions to make them part with their money and put them into debt. And that's, you know,
unfortunately it's not since COVID either, Darren. We've been in the industry for a long time, and that's one of the things. So we are really here to support you to clean up the industry, right?
Sure.
All of the people that are in our gang, we know that they want to do it differently, and that's why we call you change makers.
Yes.
Because actually you're there to make a positive impact on the planet, on the people that you serve, and yourself building a business on your terms.
For sure.
So what you also need to do as part of this conscious competence, as Helena was talking about, is actually make sure that you're always slightly putting in your marketing why you're the right person.
Yeah.
What's the credibility? What's the experience? What's the qualifications? What's the research? What's all those areas of your expertise that have allowed you to have a voice on this opinion or an opinion on this subject?
For sure.
And actually, you know, put your green flag in the sand and hold this.
Yeah.
So the selling is basically establishing these 3 things.
Yeah.
First, relationship and rapport, just like what Melissa was saying.
Yeah.
They have to like, know, and trust you.
For sure.
Okay. Then the secondly, you need to understand, and they need to understand, how this particular product or service will work for them, right? Where they're currently at, it needs to explain to them, meet them where they're at, and explain how it will help them.
Yeah.
And then it's also for your job to explain when it's the right time. And you need to know that sometimes it won't be the right time.
Yeah.
And this is when it's honouring that I don't want to push you into this. I don't want to get you into credit card debt. We'll work it out. We'll work out when this will be the right time for you, because this then just takes the pressure off you and them.
But it also makes them love you a little bit more, and they are likely to be the ones that you come back to. Shaquille's just actually saying, and I think this is part of that equation, that those people were always there, but I'm now seeing that people are ignoring their ads. So, you know, we're getting much wiser to it, possibly because in these times we are evaluating more how these relationships are indeed built.
I'm just going to add to that point as well.
Hi, Elizabeth.
I've seen all these people that have been claiming, I earn like, you know, 70k a month residual income. I live on a beach every day. And then I see on their post in COVID going, I applied for furlough. And I'm like, what? Hang on a minute. You wouldn't need to do those types of things. So I think, you know, truth always comes out at the end. And this is why we encourage you to be genuinely who you are and do it on your terms, because not everyone wants to be a millionaire. Yeah. You just want to live the lifestyle that you want, and you hit your targets. And
some of that, don't
we won't get on our
This is turning into an entirely different Facebook Live. But this really is about you deciding to run your business in the way that you want to run it. And part of that is earning the right. You're getting a little bit of love from Elizabeth, who's saying welcome back.
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you for all of the Facebook comments while I went for surgery last week. It's been lovely. I've been inundated with gifts.
Seriously, the house is filled with flowers, which is just amazing and beautiful. So let's crack on a little bit. So I want to tackle a little bit more around the first thing that Kelly was just talking about, around this relationship and rapport, because actually the first of this really is the most important one. We have to do something that really creates a space for others to believe that you are worth investing in, that we're worth buying from. And that's our definition of earning the right. It's really about not even convincing someone, but showing up in a way that just allows people to go, oh, that just makes sense, right? So it's vital that you really are working with your reputation, that you're developing your reputation as someone who is a change maker, someone who does care about your audience, whether it's an audience that have bought from you or whether it's an audience that is potentially going to do so, or whether they're just people who really like you and what you stand for that might never buy from you. They're all still part of your audience. Remember, we each on average apparently know 250 people or so. Those 250 people might not need you, but the people who they know might need you. And so you're managing your reputation in a ripple type way. And the easiest way to do that is to be someone who really is someone that people want to buy from, someone that understands that you actually have earned the right. So, you really do need to earn the right, because you don't want to come across as sleazy, salesy, unsupportive, like take, a flash in the pan in some way.
Those people that take your money,
yeah,
and then never see them again. They're like, you never hear from them.
Tumbleweed.
They don't offer any support. They're just
exactly
people that speak from stage and then they're unattainable.
Those, oh my God, all the six-figure coaches I'm seeing saying taking you to six figures in X amount of time. That's what Melissa's saying.
Or the people that have been on Clubhouse for a week and can teach you how to earn £1 million on Clubhouse.
Which, yes, of course, because that's possible. So instead, you want to be seen as someone who, if you think about how do I want people to see me, you want people to be using words like they can be trusted, they're experienced, I understand what they're able to provide. They have solutions that are able to actually fix or help or guide the thing that I'm stuck in, because they seem to know me and they seem to actually understand where I'm at, and they give value all the time, and they're really generous, and they seem to be,
they get me.
They get me.
So important.
Yeah.
When people say to us, have you got like surveillance cameras in my living room? Because I said that to my husband last night, or I was Googling that specific phrase on my laptop.
Yeah.
That's when people go, they really understand. They're not just tapping into keywords and niches. They've been there. They've had personal experience. They've helped other people.
For a lot.
That counts.
Yeah, it really, really does. And most of all, and I think maybe most of you, so my call for you is to put the onus on yourself, to be someone that they see as in it for the long haul with them. A partner, a trusted advisor, a friend who's guiding them along the way, because that's actually going to help you to not just want the sale immediately. It's going to be, what can we do in the long term on an ongoing basis? And that makes a big difference. Shaquille's just actually saying, and I think this is a really valid point, so that sales skills are now more important than ever as the opportunities for live events have been wiped out. As a sales speaker and trainer, I've seen so many people coming to realize the difference they could make by working on their communication, influencing, and negotiation skills. Absolutely. Loving it a lot, because that's kind of where we're coming from with this as well. Part of your sales skills is your serving skill in providing great value. Right?
And I also see sales skills as very similar as influencer skills as well. And that's what we all want you to be. So wherever you're showing up, you are selling. You're selling yourself, if nothing else, right?
It's a natural choice, and that's really what we want for you. Earning the right is partly about being the natural choice, just through how you show up. So how do you earn the right? Here are some ways that you can actually earn the right. And this is certainly what we give feedback to our members in our membership about all the time. So the first lesson is give, give, give. Take any opportunity you can to give, right? Provide value, create insights. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just thinking about the Gary Vaynerchuk stuff, right? So it's jab, 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 jab.
No, other way around. Other way around. Hey, I was just following.
What's the last thing though?
No. It's somebody fill in the blank for us, because it's like give, jab, or something like that. It's the other way around. You've got me all confused.
He basically is saying that you give, and then you ask, right? So at least 3 times you give to ask for something back.
For sure.
And that basically gives you money in the bank, basically, of something to call back on. We all have those people around us that are constantly taking or constantly asking and never giving, right? And we talked about the law of reciprocity earlier. Yeah. And that's really what you want to tap into, is that you don't give in order to receive. but because you give because you want to serve and help that person.
This is it.
But that is causing you money in the bank, and that will come back at you at some time or another.
Yeah.
And it's just that's the laws of energy. It's just giving and taking all the way through. So tap into that.
For sure. And so the foundation of give means that, you know, some of the ways in which you show that, because you're going to do it your way, because we love you all for being the unique, wonderful individuals that you are. You know, it's about recognizing, where can I provide value? Where can I create valuable things out of what I know? If you're spotting jab, right hook, there it is. Thanks, Joe. Like that. I've been trying to imagine the front cover and everything else that's been sat here. You need to not distract me in this way. Good God, woman. Us being together is a bit of a nightmare today. I think we're a bit high on just the fumes of, like, you know.
Having a person.
I know. Like, first thing I did was I was like, oh my God, I can prod you. So anyway, back on track. Right. So providing value, but creating valuable things also out of the listening that you do. You might just have, you know, we're big fans of saying, don't ever have just one lead gen. Like, your lead generation, you will have lots and lots of documents, checklists, things that are of use, videos, show me hows that you can actively use to give. And those things really share, you know, they show that you care. They make it, you know, you care and connect. That's another way to just earn the right. You make it easy for them to understand why you do what you do. Because weirdly, most speakers, authors, coaches don't actually tell their story about why they do what they do.
Vision, mission.
And yet that's the thing that connects people via the heart to you. And it actually, you know, once they know what matters to you, it makes you more genuine. It makes you more authentic, and they actually go, oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, I get that this person really cares. And this is one so this is a bit of a high horse one for me. So don't make assumptions that they already know that you're good. You need to show them all the time. You need to remind them all the time. You don't know who's now in your audience that wasn't before. So
not in a blow your own trumpet way.
For sure.
But in a, like, share the testimonials, share the case studies, share the awards, the various things that you actually go, you know, celebrate, help them celebrate with you on your achievements.
For sure.
But not here, this is another thing, look at me, because again, you might want to watch a live that we did about the 6 most engaging types of content, and you're seeing there that actually the vulnerability, the behind the scenes, those types of stories are actually the ones that make the most connections. Yeah, they really do kind of help people to get to know you in some way. So a lot of this is about, so one of the ways that you can do that is to really tell them your why and tell them stories that got you here, but again, not in an overpowering or you know, sort of look at me or woe is me kind of way, but just in a genuine, natural way, so that they understand your journey to getting to this point, and that shares your experience as well. The other thing that you can do is to share the success stories. You know, when you are working with people who genuinely are getting results through the methodology, the framework, the programs, the products that you have, you can actively allow them to, you know, using the case studies or the testimonials or even the reviews that you've got, that allows that social proof that we were talking about, but it also has a validation of you've been around and you've been doing this and you are actually doing the work. And those third-party endorsements, you never know where that's actually going to take you, right? The next bit, and this numbers are your friend, right? So sharing your results, showing your experiences, gathering up. I am a big fan of this, especially on those days when you have a bit of imposter syndrome. Hold your hand up if you do, because we all do, you know. But on those days, actually having all of your evidence in one place so that you can pull that out and have it available to highlight or to demonstrate what you say is true can actually be the thing that just allows somebody to go over the edge and go, do you know, now is the time. I really like you, and I get that you did this for such and such a person, and I want to do more of that. And when we say numbers, the more specific you can get, right? Maybe you're a weight loss coach. What's the average amount of weight that people lose with you in a 90-day program, and then gather that up. If you're a sales coach, So what's the average amount of profit or sales turnover do you actually help people get in corporations or organizations over, again, a certain period of time?
Yes.
So be as specific, and this is down to you to measure this.
For sure.
This is looking at, when you're working with a client, doing assessments before and after, feedbacks and stuff like that, to see where were they when they first started working with you, and where are they when they finished working with you. And then you collect these up over time and create ROI, create averages, and then you put that in your marketing material. And it's proof.
Yeah, it really is. And the final thing about numbers is, and most people tend not to do this either, because again, we write it off because we're with ourselves all the time. But just go and take a look at your own numbers. How many people have you actually trained? Whenever I do this, I go, oh, how does that work? I have literally trained thousands of people. Like, that's weird to me to come out of my mouth. And so I hardly ever say it. And yet it is a complete truth, which gives me the right, which earns me the right to actually help people write their workshops. For example, one begets the other. So there are proofs that you actually have around your own story, around, how much impact has your work made in the way that Kelly's just talking about? How far has that reached? Or even how long you've been doing what you've been doing. Most of us don't even say that, whether that's an age thing or not, but most of us don't say, actually, I've been doing this for the last 25 years. Yeah. That's a piece of credibility right there that earns you the right without people even thinking about it. So numbers are powerful. And I'm just going to read these two out before we sort of continue. So Kieran's saying, there are those people out there who believe in something for nothing, and you can get everything on the internet for free.
Yeah, you're always going to get that, Kieran.
Yeah.
You tap into that and you give them as many free stuff as you want, but there are going to be lots of people in your industry that will never pay for anything.
Exactly.
But you can still serve them as being part of a Facebook group, your lead magnets, you can still help them.
For sure. And Shaquille's point here is, and we very much agree, is people believe what they can prove rather than what you claim, right?
Yeah. That's nice leading into my point, right? So how do you prove, right? What are the things that you can do to actually prove the evidence and actually show that you are the right person for them, as well as prove results? Yeah. One of the things I would say for you all to do is to show up daily, right? In whatever way that is, because the more consistent you become in your content, that might be how you show up, it might be physically showing up, it might be, follow-ups, all those types of things, is because there are too many people out there that are everywhere for a week.
Yes.
And then they go underground for a couple of months.
Tumbleweed.
And then they're back again. And sometimes they're back with a completely different topic. And you're like, hang on a minute, that's not what you were about. So what that inconsistency, both on content, but also in how regularly you show up, doesn't give people that evidence and proof and that trust and that reliability that they're looking for somebody.
Yeah.
So, we've done a Facebook Live every Tuesday at 1:00 for nearly 3 years. Yeah. Right? People basically have us in their diaries and either have coffee with us over the pond or lunch with us, because we're a consistent feature for them.
Snacks. Some people have nice snacks
on a Tuesday. And so they know that we're always going to be there for them, to ask questions, to be there for training, to handheld them through. So think about being consistent in your messaging and your regularity for people to know that they can trust you. Then it's really important for you to be responsible for the marketing messages that you're putting out there. Because we've said this before, what you say is what other people are going to say about you. So what you want to be known for and seen as we call it, and there's a Facebook Live training on what if you want to do this, just go to our recorded trainings. But that's basically, if you want to be known for a keyword, or you want to be known for a uniqueness or some of your IP, then you need to be telling people this on a regular basis.
For sure.
We have had people going, oh my God, I've just realised I've just put on your terms in my blog, and that's your sort of tagline. Are you okay with that? We're like, yeah, cool.
Yes, of course.
But we're known for building a business on your terms as speakers, authors, and coaches is one of our things, because we constantly say it. It's everywhere. It's in our memes and our introductions. So what do you want to be known for and seen as, and help other people spread that word? Because when they hear it from lots of different people, it's proof, it's evidence that, okay, I've heard 7 people say the same thing about that person. Yeah. And the important thing is for you to really, as we always say, get to know your avatar.
For sure.
Because what you want to do is you want to create a breadcrumb trail of little steps that solve their problems. Yeah. Going back to what I said before, you meet them where they're at, even though you're really excited about taking them to where you know that they could go. you need to meet them here and help them solve that small problem. And these are normally with your free content and your lead magnets and your groups and your trainings and stuff, your webinars. And then that helps them understand that they are getting small results, but actually this is where they need to go to. But they need to have that evidence and that confidence in you and try before they buy, before that they then decide to actually pay, you know, relatively high money to actually work with you on a one-to-one basis or in your group program or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So make sure that you have that breadcrumb of trails where people can explore and identify if you're right for them and get some small steps of results before they actually buy into your big sale item.
Completely. So I've just actually put in both the known for seen as training and indeed Kelly mentioned earlier the 6 different types of content. So I've just put those 2 training in there. Now that's actually an example, and I'm highlighting this on purpose as a teaching point. You know, I'm highlighting this because that's part of the consistency. We have that available, and we're not just saying, you know, by the way, there is that, go and find it. We're, you know, make it as easy as you can to do that. Now, does it mean that I wasn't maintaining eye contact with you whilst I went and looked for the thing? Yeah, but
it's fine, you were looking at me.
Yeah. See what I have to contend with? Oh my God. And hi to Jacqueline. So let's talk about when you actually need to earn the right. And here's the thing. That's a trick question because you're always earning the right. You are actually always showing up because everyone is watching you all of the time, even though nobody's watching you any of the time, right? So you need to make that assumption for yourself that everything you're doing can be seen. So your job is just to show up as you and as much you in a consistent way as you possibly can be. Because even if it's not true that everyone's watching you, because really they're not, you need to act as if that's true. Because when you do that, you never know when someone's going to catch you. You never know when someone's going to be listening. That is the thing. You say something and they just go, oh my God, this person always makes sense. Even though, like, it might be the 17th time they've seen you, it might be, you know, they've been following you for 4 years, and then suddenly you say something that is the culmination of all of those kind of events where they just go, oh my God, this is the person for me.
But it's also, we were having a call with one of our members last night, and Charlie was saying she was doing a showcase at the PSA, and actually the talk there was actually for SME business owners, but actually what people were saying is, I need to introduce you to this corporate client, or actually quite a few, who is her second avatar, but you know, the whole thing there, you never know who's in the room that then is listening, that thinks about 250 people that they can refer you on to.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of the when, you know, people really do believe behaviors more than words, you know, sort of that whole do as I do, not as I say, you know, sort of like, whereas people get that one the wrong way around, right? So you need to earn the right for sure. Before you make, you know, this is the one time when we're serious about this. You have to earn the right before you make an offer or a sale. But as Kelly was saying, we are actually continuously and always making an offer in some way. People say this a lot about me. You can't really be in a room without me without offering you something somewhere, whether that's a free thing or whether that's a paid for thing that actually might be very appropriate and would solve the problem. And sometimes that's not one of our things. That's actually a partner's thing or somebody else's that I've heard of and that I endorse that just makes sense for the person. So always be solving a problem, and it's not necessarily about you putting your stuff in front of people, right? So you absolutely have to, though, if you are actively promoting something, you absolutely have to earn the right. This is the point more than anything where you have to earn the right. So when you are doing this in terms of making a sale, so before making an offer, any offer, you know, which includes in your discovery calls, you have to give them value. You still have to give within that. When you're running a webinar, you want to be answering. You don't want to be empty making promises in a webinar or like regurgitating everything that it said on the landing page. So all they needed to do was actually, you know, sign up to the landing, not even sign up to the landing page, but you had all the information in there. No, you need to actively give them a lot more value if you know that you are going to then be saying, and by the way, now that you know more about this, you actually know what you really need to do. Here's a thing that can help you. Here's my product. Here's the thing that actually will help you with the things I've just highlighted to you that you've now learned that you didn't know. So you want to be in that space of what don't they know that I know that I can share with them, right? And discovery calls and sales calls. Like, treat them, your speakers, authors and coaches, your consultants in some way, treat them like they are a coaching call. And then if you have an offer to make, like,
if they're a right match as well.
Exactly. You want to be evaluating that, because again, not everybody is a right fit. It's a bit like, you know, when you used to go for an interview before, when you were working in corporate land or wherever it was that you were, and you went for an interview. It isn't just about the interviewing saying, are you right for this job? It's about the interviewee, you know, interviewing them and saying, is this right for me? So it's a two-way thing.
I think that's a lot of people try and squeeze round pegs into square holes when they're desperate for clients. And I get that, right? When you really want to earn some money, you might take on some really dreadful clients, especially in your early days. We've all done it.
We have.
But as soon as you get better at like understanding who your avatar is and creating more income for yourself, you get very picky about your clients.
Or you should do.
Yeah, you should do. But that's why, you know, the more that you think it's, you know, the more you get more people into your funnel, the more awareness, the more reach you have. Yeah. Then you can become more picky on who you have on those discovery calls and who qualifies to be a client for you, and to make sure that you're not trying to shoehorn them into it, because they're just going to become a nightmare client for you, or they're not going to be able to pay on time, and all these things that cause you problems. When actually you would be much more better just doing more prospecting and getting more clients that would actually be a big fit for you.
And it's a more valuable use of your time. And as you're doing your prospecting in a genuine, authentic, honest way, more people are seeing you and more people choose you for the right reasons. Yeah.
So we've got 6 things that we just want to highlight and finish this on, because I know that we were going through.
I know. First time together for a while.
So the first thing, make sure that you've either got a pen and paper, just so you know that you're doing this, especially if this is an area that you want to develop and get more confidence in actually selling. So the first thing we want to make sure that you're doing is that you are meeting them where your client or prospect or avatar is, and that you're not going too big. So going back to the point that I said earlier, you need to actually build that trust, rapport, proof, evidence, getting them to try before they buy. So this is where lead magnets and free content really works for you. It's something that they actually, you create small tiny steps of problems that they're Googling, things that they're asking questions about all the time. If you want, what we do is we listen in groups of speakers, authors and coaches and what they're asking for. Sure. And at the moment, I think we've got about 18 lead magnets in the Connection Hub. If you go to the Resource Hub, you'll see all of our lead magnets there. And they've been created through things that we've been hearing people ask a lot, very frequently. Sure. And so we know that we can put that resource out there. They go into an email nurture campaign, they come into the Connection Hub, and they learn more and more, and they get to know us. And then, you know, a lot of people will come into our paid membership or do our online courses or come to our retreats or whatever it might be. It's effortless because we're creating a user journey for them. For sure. But it starts with helping them where they're currently at and developing that. So think for yourself, what have you got that's free content, that meets people at the early stage of the user journey? Facebook groups, lead magnets, webinars, discovery calls, short challenges, all these types of things are things that you can create that give people choice in how they interact, but also the subjects that they interact with. Don't just have one lead magnet. No. We have quizzes, we have matrices, we have guides.
Don't just have one type of lead magnet either. You know, sort of like do it in different formats, because different people like their information in different formats. So be as wide as you possibly can around that.
So that's the first one, right? Meet them where they're at, have some free content, allow them to try before they buy.
Second thing is, make it all about them. It's so not about you. Make it all about them, right? Figure out why people are out of sorts. Focus on what's making them, you know, antsy, anxious, unclear, not understanding. Focus on those things, because they don't really care about you, especially if you're new to them. Like, they care about their problem. They care about fixing their problem more than anything, right? So they want a solution, and they don't even necessarily, they may never have seen you, but you might actually, because you're not making assumptions about anything, you are the person that actually finally makes them realize why they've got the problem in the first place, and they start to listen even more. So make it all about them.
And then there's the bit about, it's not so much about you, but it's how are you building that connection, that rapport, that trust? How are you sharing the stories of, you know, your credibility, your expertise? How are you demonstrating that? But also, how are you making the connection from a personality point of view?
For sure.
how do they know if they vibe with you? How do they know if they're like valued? How do they know if they, you know, that you might have a different culture? You might have a, you know, all these things matter. So how are you actually giving the person the understanding of exploring your background? Have you shared your story? Have you been vulnerable? Have you told them about the down days as well as the up days? Have you basically explored the experience about the jobs you've previously had, the qualifications you've had, and how you've molded that all together to make this unique process, which is yours, and maybe even compare it to the mistakes that you've made, right? We've done lots of Facebook Lives around the types of stories that you can tell around your business, and, you know, the dog days and all these types of things. And really, we find for us that the Facebook group for us is one of the best places to do this, because what we have here is we can show up individually as ourselves and our Speaker Insight as our company, and share a real variety of content, of videos, and, you know, you get to see us normally not together, but in
well, it used to be together, and then for about a year it was very much remotely, right?
Very much in the what they Dumb and Dumber from.
Anyway, don't go there.
I just put the link into the comments because we weren't here in the buzz of the business in the beginning of this live. If you are thinking of running a Facebook group, then we've got our challenge starting on Monday where you can register for free, and we'll teach you how to start the group, how to build the group members, and how to get engagement like we do in the hub. So again, if this is something where you think a group would be a great way for people to learn more about you, build rapport, create a whole little group of people that are, you know, like you and want to know the same things, then we think it's one of the best ways that we've done for our business.
We really, really do. And you know, it stands us in good stead, and it's definitely on our terms and very enjoyable. So we've talked about meeting them where they're at and not going too big. We've talked about making it all about them. We've talked about starting small and actually building rapport. I'm going to say and summarize, give massive value, you know, give, but stop expecting sales, stop expecting the connections to actually happen, and just focus on giving, just giving. See what's needed, create what you can to help whatever the problem is. Make as much of your time as possible available to people without over giving, you know, because that's definitely a thing. But expect your lead magnets to be your little foot soldiers or ambassadors to go out there and do the job for you. So that actively then allows you to just be present even when you're not.
And one of the, I've just put the link in here. I know we're doing quite a lot of links today, but it does bear lots of inroads in.
For sure.
That people will often ask us, well, how much, what if I give too much? What's the difference between free content and paid content? And not me, people know, well, where do I stop, right? We had a call last night with one of our clients who basically given away 2.5 hours worth of free content. We're like, that's not what we're talking about, right? There's lots of stuff out there where you can reach people via the masses. And most of the stuff that you need to do to go right back to the point one of not making it too big is that your job of a lot of your free content and adding this massive value is raising the awareness of why they have the problem in the first place.
For sure.
Most of you want to go straight to the solution and tell them that, and that's normally a paid for process.
Don't do that.
These people, that your avatars that are at the early stage of the journey, need to understand first of all why they've got the problem, why the things that they have tried haven't worked, or at least long term haven't worked. And then you need to educate them, and that has so many light bulb moments for people.
For sure.
That they're like, I can't believe I've never really looked at it this way, or I've got that perspective. This is so invaluable. And then they then have the conscious choice to choose what routes to go down because they're aware of the problems and what they need to do next. And that leads on to the fifth point, which is the penultimate one, which is really important. Is one of the things that we see most of our clients have massive breakthroughs is when we help them create their own individual frameworks and user journeys. When you create a user journey for your clients, whether they're a succession plan, whether it's actually like the product funnel, however form that might be in, what that allows you to do is just focus on filling the funnel and having the reach of the free content here, and then having a product that is really where most people is a low tier product that most of them can buy, and it's a bit of a no-brainer, under £200. Jackie frameworks. She's just created hers with us, so she's enjoying it. But that allows you then to go, this is the first problem, and if you haven't got this sorted, then basically there's no point going any further. This is the foundational thing we need to work on, and I'm going to give you this at a low tier price. And then you have user journeys that take them to the next step and the next step. Not all of your clients are going to end up at the final step.
No.
Probably only 20% of them will actually go all the way through your user journey to your top end product.
And that's okay.
And that's fine. Because not everyone wants to go all the way, right? So basically what you want to do is make sure that you're meeting them where they're at and going as far as they want to go at that price point in the way that they want to be delivered, whether that's physical, products, digital, etc. But you have to have that roadmap mapped out for them so that you're leading the way. Don't expect them to know what the next step is or what the next product is. And it makes your job so much easier when your products are sequential.
For sure.
Rather than having to do massive launches all over and start from scratch. The momentum builds from the beginning, and there's this nice user journey when all you're doing is just highlighting a new problem and solving them along the way. The sales become effortless.
There is a patience that goes with being in business, and I think a lot of people forget that, and it is about meeting people where they're at. So the final thing we want to say, and it kind of brings it right back around to, you earn the right through telling them why first and then eventually how. As Kelly was just actually saying, Shaquille's actually just said, so I am going to share it because it's just relevant here. So regarding free value, he says, sell the sizzle, not the sausage, or the kebab, because he's a Muslim. So you know, that actually works. We have to work out what the vegan alternative to
I did a vegan alternative.
That's exactly it. So you know, but the point here is when you earn the right, most of all, by starting to help in the right place. So as Kelly said, not way over here where you're providing the solution to the 20%. No, you start in the right place. Most people know they have a problem, but they don't actually know why they have a problem. And a lot of speakers, authors, and coaches actually start with the how and go, oh, I see that you have this problem because you're used to it and you work with it on a regular basis. But you don't go back far enough and meet them where they're at and tell them why they've got the problem. Because it's only when they know why they've got the problem that they actually start internally to acknowledge it, and then to start even the decision-making process about committing to doing something about it. If you just start telling them how, they're still going, I don't know why, I don't even know why this is a problem.
And this is why quizzes are great, or assessments are great, because what they're doing for themselves is they're actually assessing their situation, and then the assessment or the quiz tells them what they've identified as their problem. So therefore, they're more open then to going to the person, well, what do I do next? I now know I've told myself I've got this problem. What do I do next?
This is it. And patience, tell me about it, says Nick. And Kieran, of course, says, in an instantaneous world, patience is a virtue. And I think that is just so brilliantly put. So what we're really saying here is, in order to earn the right, please, the key is let go of your addiction to fixing things and solving the whole problem in one go. You can't. It's impossible. So instead, break it down and give them the opportunity to experience a solution, you the opportunity to actually get a lifetime customer, you know, that loves you and that is attentive to you. Exactly. Right? And be consistent. You know, it is the patience thing that I was just talking about, but be consistent. Let them fall in love with you from the sidelines as you show up, just cheering them on over and over and over again, because that, as a speaker, author, or coach, is really your job.
We will see you, hopefully, in the challenge next week. If you haven't registered, links in the comment. We'll be going live 1 p.m. every day next week to help you grow your Facebook group and increase the engagement in your Facebook group so you can have somewhere like the Hub.
Which is really quite amazing. So,
we will see you all next week.